Micky, congratulations on the new post. How pleased are you now to become the lead under-23s coach?
Yeah, obviously very pleased. I've had a couple of weeks of filling in the period that Eki stepped up with Jack. So it's been a good kind of experience for me just to get around it and get back into that feel of working with groups, because in my previous role I was working more on the individuals and supporting Eki more than anything. So it's been good to kind of bridge that gap and get back into it, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you've enjoyed the interim period, some good performances and good results during that time as well.
Yeah, we've had a couple of challenges as well thrown at us, which has been a good test both for me and for the group. And for example, the other week when we went out of Coventry on the morning of the game, we got a couple of COVID positives, and that threw the preparations into doubt, but the lads have dealt with it well, and I think that's part and parcel of under-23s football. It's just dealing with those kind of disruptions that they're going to, both as the players, that they're going to have when they go through the career, and how do they get used to dealing with it. And also from a coaching point of view, you're kind of sandwiched in between, and your job is to basically develop and prepare them for first team, but you're also at the mercy of the first team with regards to if they need bodies. So it's a challenging role, but one that I'm very excited about.
How excited are you about the current crop? I mean, they gave Everton a really good test the other day, and obviously we've got lots of players out on loan too, so there appears to be some good players underneath that group as well.
Very excited, very. And I think that's a collective kind of view from all the staff within the academy. We really do feel that over the next 3-4 years we've got a great opportunity to get some lads through. Obviously we've seen what's happened with Eki and Jack going up, and the stability at the club with regards to that open door now from the academy all the way up. So it's an exciting time for everyone, and as you've said there, I think almost like a tip to the lads was we actually got back in after the Everton game very disappointed. We expect to win those games, and we did expect to beat Everton, so we were disappointed in the end that we lost the game. But I think that's a marker of, first and foremost, what Eki brought to the role and what he instilled in that group. And off the back of that, we're very grateful really that those lads have developed to a point now where a lot of clubs are knocking on the door and wanting them out on loan, which has happened. So we've got a lot of the under-23s out on loan, which again brings its own challenges, but it's a great opportunity for the lads underneath that maybe didn't expect to play as much as they probably are going to step up and carry that mantle forward. So collectively, as I say, we feel like the academy is in a very, very good place, but also it's just the beginning. There's a lot of expectation on us, and to really drive it forward in the next 3-4 years and get more through to the first team, because that's what the academy is there for. It's to supplement that first team and get lads through so that they can go and live their dream at this football club.
And speaking about the pathway, no greater example than obviously yesterday with the likes of Karen Gordon, Joe Starbuck, Will Asulo involved in the first team, a real feather in the cap of the academy.
Yeah, definitely, and again that's testament to the work that's been put in by Jack and Eki, the process that they've started. And it's important now that the likes of myself and Del and obviously Adi coming on board, we drive that forward even further. The benefit for me and Del certainly has been that we've been around it whilst Eki and Jack have worked. We're very clear on how they work, and me myself getting around Eki so much, I've seen his training sessions, how he goes about it, what his standards are. So I think that continuity is really important, of making sure the lads are clear on what those messages are. Because I see my role as literally making sure that once they go up to Eki, they're trustworthy, and that as soon as they're up there, he knows that they're going to be able to do a job that he expects of them. And so, as I say, there is accountability on me, but I enjoy that. I've had a career in football myself where accountability has always been there, and I think I thrive on that. So for me personally, when this opportunity came up, I thought it was one that I really wanted to go for.
How much are you enjoying working within this structure? Because Sheffield United always seem to have a very good reputation at academy level, and obviously adding someone like Adi Boothroyd, great experience, all from the outside looks like a really good structure.
I've loved it. I've loved it from the moment that I come in. As soon as I walked through the doors, I just got a little bit of a different feel about the place, about how it operates, and it really aligns with how I see myself. It's driven by a work ethic, it's driven by passion. There's a real obsession for football, both from the coaches and the players. There's a real hunger to improve, and I think that's your fundamental starting point. If you've got that, then you've always got a chance, and then we back ourselves as coaches and we put pressure on ourselves as coaches to really try and make the difference. Now ultimately it'll always be on the players. It's the players, and we stress this to them, they're the reason that they get through. It's our job to try and facilitate them and nudge them in the right direction, and at the moment we feel like we're getting a good balance on that. And the challenge will be now going forward to keep building on that and make sure that production line that has started and that doorway that's opened, more and more get through it.
And is that the aim going forward immediately for this season, getting more and more of the lads involved with the first team and more first team experience out on loan at some really good clubs in the National League, which we've seen in recent months?
Yeah, without doubt. You know, we've had, like you say, we've had a lot of lads go out on loan who are doing really well, and the feedback coming back is positive, which we take a lot of pride in, because that means that we're doing something right. With regards to continuing to push lads up to the first team, if we can, brilliant. But obviously, that's a very, very big jump, and they've got to be appreciative of that. We're quite fortunate that, and it makes our job easy really, that the likes of Illiman's gone up there and done so well. The other day you saw, obviously, Will being around it, Kyron being in the starting 11. We don't really need to say much as coaches, because they see the pathway now, and I think that's important at any football club. And there's certainly, from our point of view, right the way down. So myself and Del, we take a keen interest in all the age groups. We've always been out on an evening. It's continuing to promote that message of, look, there's a great opportunity at this football club to come and be a part of it. But not only that, there is a realistic pathway there, which, you know, every club likes to promote, but realistically, I'm not convinced it happens at every club. Here it certainly will. But again, it'll come down to whether the players are good enough and whether they've got that hunger and desire to go out there and play at Bramall Lane and impress the fans, who are going to demand a lot of them, and rightly so.
And just finally, you mentioned Illiman and Jaya there. No greater example of the 23s and first team working in tandem is that he came back to the 23s, got his experience that he needed, then came back as the first team and has done really well again.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that I see that as, so that'll be the challenge for me, is understanding that the under 23s is kind of like a little bit of a niche group with regards to, you work with a variety of different age groups. You get lads that are just coming out of the under 18s that are not quite used to the under 23 level yet. You get under 23s players that have experienced loans, that have experienced first teams, and you've got to manage expectation quite a lot. So I see that as a good challenge for me. Obviously, my background in playing at different levels will help me in that. And having already worked around Hecky and Jack, I think that's the key word for me, is just that continuity. You know, we feel like we've got the academy into a good place, and I'd like to think that that's why I've been presented with the opportunity, is just to continue that going forward. And I feel very, very well placed really with regards to what I've seen, how I understand it, to really grab a hold of it alongside Del and alongside Adi, who's going to be massive for me to tap into his experience. And as I say, really drive the club forward from underneath and really help the first team wherever we can.